shared in the love that they had for him. In the court of King Mago was a companion for Zaphir, whom he loved very much. This was the Princess Bluebell. She was the daughter of another king who had been wrongfully deprived of his dominion by a cruel and treacherous enemy, and who had come to King Mago to ask for help, and had died in his court after living there for many, many years. But King Mago had taken his little orphan daughter and had brought her up as his own child. A great vengeance had come upon the wicked usurper. The giants had come upon his dominions, and had slain him and all his family, and had killed all the people in the land, and had even destroyed all the animals, except those wild ones that were like the giants themselves. Then the houses began to tumble down from age and decay, and the beautiful gardens to become wild and neglected. And so, when after many long years the giants grew tired and went back to their home in the wilderness, the country that Princess Bluebell owned was such a vast desolation that no one going into it would know that people had ever dwelt there. Princess Bluebell was very young and very, very beautiful. She, like Prince Zaphir, had never known a mother's love, for her mother too had died whilst she was young. She loved King Mago very much, but she loved Prince Zaphir more than all the rest of the world. They had always been companions, and there was not a thought of his heart that she did not know almost before it came there. Prince Zaphir loved her too, more dearly than words can tell, and for her sake he would have done anything, no matter how full of danger. He hoped that when he was a man and she a woman, that she would marry him, and that they would help King Mago to rule his kingdom justly and wisely, and that there would be no pain or want in the whole country if they could help it. King Mago had 2 little thrones made, and when he sat in state on his great throne, the 2 children sat one on each side of him, and learned how to be king and queen. Princess Bluebell had a robe of ermine like a queen's, and a little sceptre and a little crown, and Prince Zaphir had a sword as bright as a flash of lightning, and it hung in a golden scabbard. Behind the king's throne the courtiers used to gather, and there were many of these who were great and good, and there were others who were only vain and self-seeking. There was Flossbos, the Prime Minister, an old man with a long beard like white silk, and he carried a white wand with a gold ring on it. There was Janissar, the captain of the guard, with fierce mustachios and a suit of heavy armour. Then there was Tufto, an old courtier, a silly old man who did nothing but hang about the great nobles and pay them deference, and everyone, high and low, despised him much. He was fat and had no hair on all his face or head, not even eyebrows, and he looked, oh, so funny, with his big bald head quite white and smooth. There was Sartorius, a foolish young courtier, who thought that dress was the most important thing in the world, and who accordingly dressed in the finest clothes he could possibly get. But people only smiled at him and sometimes laughed, for there is no honour due to fine clothes, but only to what is in the man himself who wears them. Sartorius always tried to push himself into the front place everywhere, in order to show off his fine clothes, and he thought that because the other courtiers did not try to push him aside in the same way, they acknowledged his right to be first. It was not so, however. They only despised him, and would not do what he did. There was also Scarecrow, who was just the opposite to Sartorius, and who thought, or pretended to think, that untidiness was a good thing, and was as proud or prouder of his rags than Sartorius was of his fine clothes. He too was despised, for he was vain, and his vanity made him ridiculous. Then there was Gabelander, who did nothing but talk from morning till night, and who would have talked from night till morning, if he could have got anyone to listen to him. He too was laughed at, for people cannot always talk sense if they talk much. The foolish things are remembered, but the wise ones are forgotten, and so these talkers of too many things come to be considered foolish. But no one must think that all the court of the good King Mago were like these people. No, there were many, many good and great and noble and brave men. But such is life in every country, even the country under the sunset, that there are fools as well as wise men, and cowards as well as brave men, and mean men as well as good men.